Welcome back,
Welcome.
or welcome to Conversations. We're your host, Ben.
And I'm Ryan.
What's up, Ryan?
What's up, Ben? How you been?
How I been? Oh, that's pretty
How
good.
you been?
I've been good.
Yeah?
See, that sucked. I've been good, man. I've been good. I had a great week. We missed last week.
Yeah, we had a little break.
We had a little break. You went to
I went to
Mexico.
with my wife.
How was that?
It was great. It was amazing. I love it. I want to retire there.
Where were you at? What city?
Quintana Roo.
Quintana Roo. Where's that?
For the layman, it's
That's
Cancun.
me. Oh,
Yeah.
that's what the Spanish.
Well,
It's
that's the
Quintana-
area. It's called Quintana Roo.
Oh, got it.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Cancun.
Yeah,
We went to
Cancun.
Cabo for your.
We went to Cabo.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think honestly, I like Cancun
What's the
way
difference?
better.
What's the difference between Cancun and Cabo?
Oh man, I feel like it's hard to say. Like for me, Cabo has always been a little bit more grittier. Like I felt like it's a lot bigger too. I feel
What's
like
more the party town?
I think Cabo is a more party
Is that
town.
where spring breaks?
I think what it is it's like Honolulu, like Oahu, and
Yeah.
then Maui. So Cancun is a little bit more like
Ah.
Maui.
Cancun's more like Maui.
Yeah, it's nicer.
Cabo is the Oahu, so it's more touristy,
A little bit
more party.
I think so. Plus, I feel like Cabo's like on this side, whereas Cancun's on this side, where there's like Tulum and like Tulum.
I think it's Tulum.
Tulum?
Yeah, Tulum. Why
Tulum,
not? Yeah.
and then like Puerto Vallarta or
Puerto Vallarta.
Vallarta. Oh my, yeah.
on, dog.
Vallarta is like bad word, right? Like death or something.
Sounds like a bad word. Yeah.
And then it's we went, and Vera was actually really apprehensive because she was like, she hears about the stories of the cartel and stuff out there, like messing with or like shooting up people. But I kept on explaining like they're not gonna mess with the tourists. The tourists are like their bread and butter. Like
That's
a
a
lot
good
of them
point.
have their hand in
yeah.
the thing. So I had a blast. So the people are amazing. I really want to even just play with the idea of maybe retiring there.
Retiring
Yeah.
there. Oh,
Driving an
do you
Uber
speak
or something?
Spanish?
You don't need to. I'll pick up Korean people.
She's-
I'll work at the.
Your whole business is gonna be Korean
What's
tourism.
dope is that everyone there, like if you're in a position of like what do you call it? Like hospitality.
Yeah.
Most people can speak pretty good English there,
Ah.
which is funny because they say like
Yeah, that would
they
make
talk
sense.
shit about Mexicans in Mexico, how they're not smart or whatever. Like they all majority of them speak at least enough English to get by. Whereas in America, not many people can speak Spanish. You know what I
True.
mean? So it's
You go to K-Town, the Mexicans speak
oh,
Korean.
dude, exactly, yeah. And that's the thing. Like over in Cancun, like everybody spoke English pretty decently, and even the ones that didn't, like they still understood enough to like understand what's going on.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I think it's a lot to do with being in the touristy area,
Yeah.
but people are amazing, obviously, because they probably have to. But I love it, man. I want to.
When you go on vacation, do you feel that you come back rested, or are you more tired when you get back?
For me and Vero, we're very similar in our traveling ways. Like, we're both like down to like spend the last day of our trip like in our hotel with
Just
food,
max
room
out in the room,
service,
yeah.
watching like 3 movies.
right. That's what vacation's for.
Yeah. So some people
Like you get a dope hotel, like, and then you don't barely
Our
stay in
hotel's
it.
crappy.
Okay, well, if you get a
We had
crappy
twin
hotel.
beds.
You
We
guys
accidentally got the wrong room, and then like we
You
ended
guys
up.
slept in separate beds.
No, well, I would go in her bed and we'd hang out. And
You guys didn't like put the beds together.
We were thinking about it, but like I don't know. I just didn't. I was like
Too
it's
much
fine.
work?
Yeah, I was like it's like because there's like wires and stuff like where the middle of the thing.
Oh,
had the
yeah,
wire.
yeah, yeah,
So I was
yeah,
like
yeah,
it's
I get
it's
it.
a little weird. So I just said like, look, I'll come over to your place and hang out, and we'll.
Oh, it's like
hang
when you're
out.
dating.
Yeah,
right?
and then like when she
Okay.
knocked out, like
kinda
I would
cute.
walk over and to my bed and sleep on my side.
Dang.
Yeah, but that's only. I mean, we've done it before. We've gotten like doubles at like Vegas,
Uh-huh.
and we would sleep on one side and like do the fun stuff on the other side.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
so if we ever invite you, don't
I
sleep
will
on the
not
other
be
side.
on either of y'all's beds. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. But no, it was a great trip. I loved it, man.
It was good.
Yeah.
So were you okay? Did you come back rested though, or were you
I-
like more wiped out? I feel like I'm the type when I come back, I'm more tired
for sure, I think.
because I'm just doing the most.
Yeah.
Which also you like. I mean, that's why you go. You don't want to just go and freaking just sit in your hotel watch TV all day.
Let me ask you this:
you want to enjoy the city, or
last day, were you down to just stay in? Like,
yeah, okay. It depends.
See, I feel like you're not. You'd be like, let's do it.
It depends on how long the vacation is. If I'm staying like a week, then maybe I'll find a day to be like, all right, let's do like a resort day, right? You want to just enjoy the pool, sleep in, maybe go take a nap, come back out by the pool. Maybe go out just to get dinner or something like that. So I'll have like a resort day. Yeah. But then most of it is like we're here to enjoy the place that we're like the city that we're in. You know what I mean? So
for sure.
Do the most.
That's what I love about Vero. She makes it easy. She's not a type A, and I'm not a type A. We're both very type B. Like let's go with the flow. Like what?
Do you feel that works well? Because you know how like for me,
works well.
Okay.
It works well.
I like it when somebody has like, hey, let's go do this.
Yes, it's always good
doesn't
that
have
one
to be
is like that.
Exactly. I think there should be a trade-off. You know what I'm saying? Like today we're doing what you want to do. Tomorrow we're like doing what I want to do.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
I used to like that, but being this way with Vero, like there are times where I'll like we're saying like, hey, on Sunday we're gonna go brunch. We're gonna do all this stuff, and then I get to that point, I'm like, man, I don't want to go. It's Sunday morning. We drank the night before. I'm hungover, so I'm like, you want to go to this thing? And she's like, nah. And, and for me, I'm like, oh,
yeah. Well, see, there's that also the the compromise and the collaborative. For sure, figure it out together.
That's why I think it's good that we are the way we are. We work well in that sense. Like, we travel well together. That's why I love traveling with her. Just being her.
That's good.
So it was a good time. Yeah, and she ended up enjoying a lot more of the things that I booked than I did. Yeah. So it worked out best in the situation, because if she had a lousy time and I had a blast, like it would have not been good. Like she actually had more fun on certain excursions that I booked. I was way more critical. Like like dude, what? Like I was just way more critical on myself. But she was like, I loved it. Like we took this zip line thing in like maybe like a football field, like forest, right? Okay. And it was just like off trees, and we're like maybe like 12 to 15 feet high.
Yeah.
And the first time I did zip line, it was in Costa Rica, and it was off, we're going off of like mountains and literally going through fields and off of the floor 100 feet.
Yeah, see,
I was so like underwhelmed, but Vera was like, oh my God. Every time we landed, she's like, it was, I was like, all right, cool. Like, as long as you enjoy it. And then, well, she's also a good sport too, because, she could be like, man, what the fuck? This fool like booked the most ghetto like zip lining thing.
Like 10 foot high.
I was like, hey, where are we going to go for zip lining? And they were like, oh, you're here. I was like, what? Like, I think the highest we were it was like maybe 50 feet, 40 feet.
Okay.
40. It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
They're trying to do the tricks. Oh, flip over like Spider-Man. And then I did it all easy and shit. Like, yeah. And he was like, whoa. I was like, this ain't shit, man.
Dang, my bad, professional zip liner, dude.
Hey, you know what? When you do like 100-foot zip line,
all right, dude,
you kind of become a different man,
You're like, I remember my first beer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do people call you out in Mexico, bro? Is there like a translation like for your name? Because like for me, like my Hispanic friends would call me Benito.
Oh yes.
You know what I mean? So is there
I don't think I have a Spanish translation of Ryan. Do you know if there's one? I know you're Latin.
Are you Latin, Mark?
He's born or his family is from in South America. So
Argentina. Okay, so what's Ryan in Argentinian?
Ryan.
Is it just Ryan? It's kind of boring.
Rio. Yeah, it's so boring. You know what I love though is when I go to like when we like Mexico I met a guy. He was helping me out with my zip line. His name was Chino. And
Chino.
Yeah, so they called him Chino. Hey.
Yeah.
And I when I first heard that, I was like, wait,
you talking to me?
Like you telling them to help the Chino out? I didn't get offended, right? Because that they're not trying to be like that. So I went up to him and I looked up at him and he has chinky eyes. And I was like, they call you Chino because of this? And he was like, yeah.
But he's Mexican?
He's Mexican, straight Mexican.
That's hilarious.
But that's his nickname.
Yeah.
And we were just like joking around. And then he asked me what my name was. And I said, Jose. And he thought it was hilarious. So he was like, "Your name isn't." Yeah, it was a.
You didn't find that offensive?
Why would he? His name is Chino.
But your name ain't Jose, bro.
That's what we laughed about. We both had a moment where we're like,
okay.
like that's funny,
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. Okay.
Dang,
Well,
dude, yeah, put your guns down, bro.
I don't know, man. You just be like, why are you calling people like, or you're calling yourself Jose? That doesn't make any sense.
You're offended by that?
I
was in a moment where you're like, oh, okay, like they're. I don't know, man. Like, why would you do
Why are
that?
you sweating, bro? You think I'm putting you in the hot seat right now?
I feel a little bit on the hot seat.
Jeez, bro.
I
relax.
wasn't trying to
take a sip of your tequila, dude.
Okay, maybe this is what's making me.
You're moving your microphone around a lot, bro. You gotta stop that.
I'm sorry. I know. You're right. Yeah. Anyways.
Well, I mean, I'm curious, man. I mean, shoot, man. You got your. I'm looking at your screen. You got the Rye Guy. Rye Guy always die. You got your logos going, like.
Trying to.
When did people start calling you Rye? Because I always felt like I always called you Ryan until I felt like you kind of like started referring yourself to Rye.
As
Rye.
I don't know. I think oh, you know what it was? It was a Facebook thing. I found like this backwards R thing, and then like I changed my name to like a backwards R and Y, and eventually it just went from that to like I feel like Ryan is just so like.
Does anybody
boring.
actually call you Rye? I think I call you Rye now because you know what I'm saying? It's just Rye Boogie.
I think it's both. Yeah. Some people, like, when they see me, they'll like, hey, Rye. Like, you know, my close friends don't call me Rye. They'll call me Ryan.
So what?
They'll always say Ryan or reference to me as Ryan. But you reference me as Ryan, or you'll like, you'll like say, hey, Ryan. Like, you'll ask me, like, hey, Ryan.
You're right.
You know, and like, you'll call me by my name. Whereas, like, someone like, for example, like John Ha, he calls me Rye all the time. What's that, Rye?
Oh, interesting.
What's that, Rye?
Yeah, that's a good John Ha.
Yeah.
That's a good John Ha.
Yeah. What's that, Rye?
I mean, it's it's weird because when, obviously when I met Vera, I cannot call her Veronica. That's the weirdest thing. So to me, it's just Vero.
Yeah.
If I were to say Veronica, it'd be weird.
Me too. We were actually at a Ralph's, and for some reason I was looking for her, and I went, Veronica? Like I called her by her name, and she literally like poked out her head like from the side. She was like, why'd you call me that? Like why'd you call me that? Like, that's weird because I never called her by her full name. And then one random day, I just ended up calling her by her full name, and she was like, "The fuck?" Like,
it's also weird. Like when you're dating, or you're used to calling your significant other babe, right? So then when you actually say their name, it sounds weird in your head. Like, well, why did I just call you?
I've called my dad babe before, babe. And when I'm like arguing with him,
you called him babe.
Like I'm like babe, like, and then I'm like, oh, dad, like, because I'm so used to arguing.
That's
like,
not just good, bro. You associate argument with babe?
No, it's not that. It's just I always call her babe.
Like, I understand that. Well, why would you call your dad babe?
It's just like when your parents call you like Ben Steve, like Ben Steve.
My mom does that, but she's old. You know what I mean? She'll call me Patty. She'll call Steve Benji. You know what I mean? She forgets.
I'm in the early stages of dementia, so.
Let's hope
horrible,
not, man. Let's hope not.
That's a bad thing.
Well, okay. So speaking of all that, man, I think names are funny, bro. I mean, like, for me, when I was growing up, it's funny. I actually talked about this today at my community group, which is hilarious. Mm-hmm. Because the opening sort of prompt, just to kind of like, sort of icebreaker it. They're like, did you have a nickname growing up? If so, what was it? And did you like it? Did you not? And then, like, if it changed, like, did you change it? Or did someone give you a nickname? So it was a whole, like, nickname thing. And I was like, oh, man, yeah, I was, like, pre-8th grade, I was Benji.
I love that name, Benji, actually. It's a very loving and endearing name.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. But you know what it is? I think when you're a kid, that you are associated with a name that's, like, cute. And also, at the time, during the 80s, right now, people these days, Benji the dog, people these days might know who Benji the dog is, but...
Isn't that the song that Mac is
No, that's Ben the monkey, bro.
Oh.
He had a monkey, but Benji the dog was a completely different species. Benji the dog had movies. He was a movie star, bro. They had Benji the dog movies.
He was a terrier.
He was a terrier.
Norfolk terrier or some kind of terrier.
I think it was like a Jack Terrier.
No, he wasn't a Jack Terrier. He was scruffy, right? He was a brown scruffy dog.
He looked kind of like
Benji wasn't a Jack Russell. You're talking about Jack Russell White with a little like brown spot. No.
Oh, okay. Then what?
He's a scruffy dog.
Yeah, what is a scruffy one called?
They're called They're terriers, but I think the one that he was like a Norfolk Terrier. Okay. I used to love terriers. That's why.
All right, I'm gonna trust you on the terrier.
I could be wrong, but you know.
So I just didn't like the fact that all the kids at school call, oh, Benji the dog, Benji the dog. And I'm like, okay, that's cool, whatever. So when I switched schools, 8th grade, because, you know, up until like, kindergarten through 7th grade, I was Benji. And then 8th grade, my mom took me out of my middle school, sent me to another school. And I felt like that was
I'm gonna be Ben.
I was like a perfect time to rebrand.
Yeah,
I'm about to rebrand myself. I'm like, hey, what's up, guys? I'm Ben. I was like, ooh, I feel a lot older.
And that was in high school.
8th grade.
Oh, 8th grade.
Yeah, 8th grade. So I was just like, yeah, Ben just feels like it's more mature.
You had a separate 8th grade from junior high?
No, my mom took me out of my 7th grade because I was a bad kid. I was hanging out with bad kids. So she was like, you're out of this school. So
you were like jumping people, like.
You know, not quite jumping people, but yeah, I got into some trouble. I got into a little bit of trouble, so my mom took me out of that school, put me into this other school, and then from there I was like, I'm gonna be Ben.
I didn't know that. Wow, you're really bad.
I wasn't that bad.
Even I didn't get removed from my schools. And
I think my mom's just paranoid, bro. My mom's just ultra paranoid. I was a skater kid and hanging out with skaters, and then getting a little bit of mischief, and then saw that my friends were like smoking cigarettes and stuff. It's like, you're not hanging out with these kids anymore. But we did some stupid other stuff too. Anyway, but funny, my mom removed me from that school, and then she sent me to a school that had hella Asian gangs. So then I started getting.
You learned more.
Yeah, after I rebranded, I just rebranded like the new band of misfits that I'm hanging out with. So I was introduced.
And that's when you started dancing, 9th grade, or
no? That was. I was introduced to like breaking during that time because I was like a bunch of Filipinos at that school, so they're all trying to break and stuff. But I was still like chubs. I was still a fat kid back then, so I couldn't really get down with the breaking. But I did start getting into like K-pop stuff in 8th grade because my sister took me to Lula concert.
That's right, at the
and then the Hollywood Park. And but yeah, man, that rebrand happened in 8th grade, and it felt different. And Ben is what stuck. But the funny thing is, anybody who knows me from childhood up until 8th grade, they still all call me Benji. So my family, they all call me Benji. Steve's the only one who calls me Ben in public. But in reference to my family, they all call me Benji.
That's cute.
And then like Sayat calls me Benji. Like
that's cute. I'm gonna call you Benji from now on.
Nah, dude.
Benji.
The rebranding is in full effect.
The two of us. Sorry.
No.
Wait. So when did you get the? When did you? I remember you got the B-Tech out of nowhere. Like I don't remember.
B-Tech happened in Jabberwockies.
So that was okay. Yeah, that's why I remember. It came out of nowhere, and I was like,
that came with Jabberwockies.
Let me ask you this: if you can go back and rebrand that, would you? Different name?
Probably, bro, because I actually don't like the story behind B-Tech. It's actually stupid. It's actually pretty lame.
Yeah. Like I'm a dancer. I feel like it could where I could cut.
Most people that have dancer names, okay, I don't want to say most. I'll just say some people that have dancer names, they all say like it doesn't really mean anything, or like it's kind of dumb how I got it. So I fall into that category. So I have a PC version of what B-Tech is, which is anytime I was interviewed, I was like, it's like, the VTech engine. It's like fast, fast like a VTech engine. The B-Tech.
Right? Oh, you got the B-Tech.
Yeah, B-Tech.
B-Tech's
the Korean accent. Okay. So it's like the VTech engine, but that's very much not it. So when I first got down with Jabberwockies in 2007, there was a very unfortunate incident at Virginia Tech College.
Yes.
Or university, whatever it's called. There was a shooting, and the mugshot of the shooter came out, and it's this Asian dude with a shaved head. And at the time, I had a shaved head, and I was hanging out at Fee's apartment. Fee's like, bro, this guy looks like you, dude. No. And I was like, what? And I looked, I was like, I guess I can kind of see it. He's like, bro, you're the VTech shooter, bro. You're B-Tech, bro. And I was like, that's stupid. And then it just stuck. It just stuck. So he just kept calling me B-Tech, and I was like, all right, cool. And at that time, I'm like, all right, man, if my crewmates are going to name me a name, I'll...
It doesn't sound bad. You know what I mean? It's better than B-Money.
B Money's kind of tight though.
B Money's tight, but there's so many B Moneys. You know.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, G in our crew at the time, we called him G1 or G Money. So
see, that's what's horrible about my name. I have R, and that's nothing. Like, what's that? R2D2? Or like
R2D2's kind of fresh.
Or
though,
like,
bro.
you know what I get a lot? Rai.
Okay.
I get Rai a lot, and I get that from guys and girls, and it's still like. I mean, it doesn't bother me.
Should we rebrand you right now? Well, like, okay, you can choose your own. You can choose your own name. What would it be? You choose your own rebranded nickname.
Oh, Deshaun.
Deshaun makes no sense.
I love that name. I think that's such a cool name.
Really?
Like,
you would just rename yourself Deshaun?
Obviously no, but I've gone through the conversation of naming a son. Like naming my son Deshaun, but everybody thinks it's a horrible idea. But
well, okay, if you could rename yourself, do you have a name that you would want to rename?
I actually like my name. I like my name. I didn't like my name growing up, but I like it because there's not many. Well, number one, it doesn't come from the Bible, and there's not many Koreans that it's not as common as a John.
That's true. I don't know a whole lot of Korean Ryans.
Yeah,
Koreans. I don't know.
There's a lot of. I feel like there's a lot of Ryan Kims. But like, you know, the ones that I see, like, or the ones that I Google, and I see through.
You've Googled
I
Ryan
Googled
Kim?
my name, and of course, who hasn't, right? And obviously, nothing pops up for myself, but just a few things.
Just want to see if you're popping in the streets or what?
Yeah, see if the you know they're talking about me from my ear to the ground.
See if you got a Wikipedia for you or what?
No, I don't even. I made one, but it deleted. I don't know what happened to it. They must have figured out it's not real or something.
Okay, so you Google your name. You
Yeah,
don't find
and then
a whole
all
lot.
the Ryan Kims that I see, they're all pretty like nerdy and lame looking. So
Square guys.
I'm like,
I hope none of them are listening to this because they're gonna unsubscribe, bro.
It's all good, dude. There can only be one.
Okay, well you're the one. All right, so you love your name. You wouldn't rebrand it. You wouldn't change it.
Yeah.
Okay, man. If I were, let me think, bro. If I wanted to read, because I
like Ben.
I actually hated Benji. Like I didn't like
Well,
it.
Benji, it's like because it makes you. I know it sounds like
It makes
young.
it feel kiddie.
Yeah,
you know
but
what
it's
I mean?
also really endearing. It's like you have your like a loving like nickname, you know, like a term of endearment from your family. That's like special because only they call you that. Like, you know, my family calls me Ya, you know? Ya, you know, like so.
You do look like a Ya.
I think that's my nickname.
You do look like a
name
Ya.
is Ya.
Dude. Yeah, I
Kim
see,
Ya.
I see a lot of Ya in you. You know, some folks like in Kinjas call me like Benjamin.
Yeah.
Like Darren calls me Benjamin.
Yeah.
And,
Benjamin, because it's phonetically. Yeah, that's cool.
And then, you know what, dude? I got a lot of like, very personal nicknames for specific people. Like a specific person only calls me something. Meaning like Darren calls me Benjamin, Mike calls me Benjamin, and then when I was on Kaba, the homie Cindy would call me Benjabot, and then Rochelle called me Benbot, and then Saya calls me Bensis.
Maybe
I'm
because
like,
it's your energy. You know how like you said. Like with me and you, when we had that conversation, you're like, you're the only person I troll because you troll me.
Yeah, that's why
Maybe
you're Ya,
you
dude.
give people you've always called me Ryans, Byons.
Or
like, you remember that?
Gyoza face.
Gyoza
What are you
face.
talking about? How do we
Gyoza
forget
face.
Gyoza face?
I don't know. You
That's
forgot
your name.
it,
I'm
bro.
bringing it back, bro. I'm bringing it back.
I think that's on the
Conversations
level of
with
troll.
Ben and Gyoza face.
It's on the level
Okay,
of
fine.
troll.
Okay,
So
fine.
no, I'm just kidding. I always thought that was funny. Gyoza. I don't even remember where that came from.
I think because we were eating gyozas. I think it
It
was
has a
in,
long face.
It was in Brazil or something. I was like, bro, shut up, Gyoza face. And then we just both started laughing. I don't even know why
I
that
think
was
you're
funny.
right. It was a random.
I don't even know why that was funny, but it was. And I was like, that one's good.
Yeah, Ryan's Byons was because of
Pastor Beyond. Hey, I was just at God's Image on Monday.
Oh, really?
Or Tuesday.
I actually I talked to somebody on Facebook, like a message. I commented on her post, and she was like, "Oh yeah, we should all try to hang out." And I was like, "Yeah, sure." I mean, but see if we hang out with them.
Just come to the next Yusunjun retreat reunion thing.
We should do it. We should do it with him.
Dude, I'd be down.
Yeah,
Pastor Beyond.
So what would you change it? Would you change VTech?
I think, I mean, I got to stick with it because it's there, but like, I wish it was cooler. I wish I wish there was a better story behind it. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
But you know what? You can't change reality, man. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But if I would change my actual name, that's a good point. It's hard to say because I'm like, nah, dude, I am Ben.
I think you're Ben. I think that's a dope name too. Benjamin, I think is a dope name. Like,
there's not a lot of
Korean Benjamins.
There's not a lot of Korean Benjamins, yeah.
And the Benjamins is about it's all about the Benjamins.
It's all about the Benjamins.
I've always liked that name. I'm a big fan of Luke. I like the name Luke.
Luke's kind of cool.
It's a cool name,
Cool Hand
right?
Luke Perry.
And you know what's funny is that like it's in the Bible, but not many Koreans are named that because they can't pronounce it. Rook.
That's interesting.
And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so I think Luke would have been is like a cool name.
Luke is tight.
Yeah.
You know what, man? I'm gonna bite that. I'm gonna put that in the pocket.
For who? Like
potential
son,
baby names.
Hey, Luke, Ryan, Chung. That's amazing.
I don't know about the Ryan kind of throws it off. It doesn't roll off. Luke Chung sounds kind of sick,
Chung,
bro.
and then Ryan Chung, sibling.
It's like Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
Luke Chung. Ooh, that kind of rolls off the tongue, bro. I genuinely feel good about that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll let you know. Since we're not.
Oh, Dean's kind of a cool name.
Dean. Yeah. Dean.
Dean.
I had a friend that his name was Dean.
I'd be down to be a
so
Dean.
They call him DJ.
I might have been down for a Dean.
Do you look like a Dean?
I think I feel like a Dean, dude.
Yeah, you could. I
could pull off a Dean.
Can I pass for a Dean? Nah.
You can pass for a Sam.
Damn, Sam. Okay.
Samuel.
Samuel. I like that name. I like that name.
If you told me your name was Sam, I'd believe you.
Richard.
Nah, Richard's a little like.
How about this? Richard?
Nah, definitely not like that. Richard.
Keanu.
Nah, you can't do Keanu. But
no, dude, he's too sexy.
You're rocking the Keanu right now. You're rocking your John Wick right now.
I'm trying to do the John Wick, but Vero calls me John Whack. So. Don't laugh at that. That was so basic. It was such a basic.
Good. No, because it came from Vero, it's freaking. I get it. It's good.
Yeah.
John Whack.
Yeah, John Whack.
It's good.
Yeah. I know Vero's been. She gets on me about it because she always likes to burst my bubble. I've told her my where the inspiration's coming from, and she's always like, I don't like it when you're so like because when I talk to people about it, like she's like, you're talking to people like you actually like look like Brad Pitt, when I'm like, this is where my.
But that's kind of cool. I mean, if you feel like you got a swag and then it kind of just makes you feel better, then
maybe she could be right too. Like she's like
is she trolling you?
She's not trolling me.
Why
She's
trying to act cool?
Me in a better way because she's always like, people don't like a person that is like too egotistical and things like that. So.
That's true. People don't like egotistical people.
Yeah. So I mean, I've been in
the.
You
act cocky when your hair's like that?
No. It's just more of like every time, like there will be times where a little bit of like cockiness will come out, even though it's a complete act. I'm super self-conscious about it, but I just do it because it's not. I don't know. I'm not cocky. I'm just playing around. Like trying to make myself feel better.
You're playing a character.
I'm playing a character and trying to make it like, hey, so. Do I kind of look like Brad Pitt in this light? And then, she doesn't play along. She could play along and be like, oh, yeah, like, you're so high. But she's like, no. Like, dang.
It's like, nah, John Whack.
John Whack. Yeah, exactly. And she's just, when she sees me act like that, she's like, I don't like it when you're cocky. It doesn't show like a good image of you.
What does she like? What character does she like you to play?
Me now, this withered version of Ryan, this.
Do you feel like you're withered?
I've lost my edge.
Why? What?
Because I'm not thinking of
is that a choice that you made, or do you feel like you
never a choice?
Like,
it was
you gave up on a piece of your life
was
somehow?
Telling me I don't like you that you do that. Just like when you told me you don't like the trolling stuff. Like you're like, I can't.
Oh man, did I just take away your mojo, bro?
I can't.
I just like it when you're nicer.
Hey look. Here's the thing. I'm all about it. You get more more bees with honey than vinegar, right? So
yeah.
I've been pushing out a more positive Ryan, which I get more positive back.
Look at that, bro.
Right? And so when we had that conversation, it was actually timed at the right time because I was already in that transition of being like that. And when you brought it up of like, yo, you're the only person we do it to each other, I was like, okay, like
yeah, but okay, when we had that conversation,
little context. Maybe we should do a little context.
Yeah, okay. So for the listener, Ryan and I a few weeks ago, we had a real conversation because we were texting. And then text conversations never go well because you don't get context. Yeah. You don't know. You're reading what's being said, and it's just like you in your own head you make up your own tone and all that. So then we got into this little thing, and then we called each other up on the phone to actually talk. But we actually kind of got into an argument. Yeah. Just to be real, we did.
A lot of it is me. I raise my voice a lot, but you're good at not like reaching that level too with me, like. I brought myself down because I was like,
I also just don't like yelling anymore, bro.
Yeah,
I don't got
me too.
I don't like that energy, dog.
It's a involuntary response that I get.
I get it. So as we were talking, just some I said, yo, Ryan, and without getting into too much of the context of what we were talking about, I was like, bro, it's like, do you realize that out of everybody that I know, I only troll you? Whether that's, on in the comments or, whatever in real life, I only kind of, roast on you a little bit because I'm like, you're the only one in my life that really gives that to me. So I'm like, all right, if that's just the way that it goes and that's the banter, then, and I would say
but I always gave it to you because you always say you give it to me because no one else gives it to me. Or everyone,
bro.
Everyone looked at it like that.
You give it to everyone.
But I never gave it to you as much.
You did give it to me. That's why I was like, all right, now I got to
at that time,
I got to fight back, dude.
Yeah.
And then, I say 85% of the time, maybe 90% of the time, it's all in good fun because we'll laugh about it and be like, all right, you got me. But then there are just certain times where it's like, I kind of don't really need that right now. You know what I mean? But that's what makes it cool that we can talk and even... kind of get into a little dispute about it and talk through it. And
I think it was huge too because for me, someone like you, where I was like, oh, this is completely harmless. We both do it to each other, and we know that it's not really affecting us. To when you brought it up, I was like, man, it's not that I want to be like that. I mean, I enjoyed it because I'd make people laugh around them, but I never thought about what I was doing to that person. Even though it was never malicious, it was just, I'm clowning, just joking around,
I think people know, first of all, I don't think you do it to strangers, you know what I'm saying? Or actually you do it to strangers.
I do it more to strangers because I can get away with it.
I do see you do it to strangers.
Because I can get away with it. But I also do it as a social justice thing. If they're doing it, if they're being blatantly rude to us for some reason, then I'm going to be witty and funny, attacking in that way where they don't know that I'm being that way, or they're kind of oh,
is that a joke? Or
yeah,
you
is that
being
a joke?
Serious?
Or yeah.
Okay, so I get it. But to the people that know you, they may be like, all right, this fool razzes me all the time. But then you also do a good job of balancing with love and props, and then everybody knows.
I hope so, man. I'm not.
Everybody knows Ryan's gonna show up. Ryan's gonna be down for you. You show that. Yeah. But maybe it's that. Maybe I want to encourage you. Hey, do a little bit more of the
Haven't
encouraging.
You seen?
I have. I'm just saying.
I said, I lost.
We're talking about rebranding right now.
Yeah.
It's not about just name. We're talking about let's get to a place where we're yo, let's be the person we want to be.
For sure. No,
to people and around people.
I'm all for it. The pandemic showed it opened my eyes to where it's nothing really matters except relationships and your health.
Yeah.
Right. So it's I think for you to tell me that was the final nail in the coffin of Dick Ryan or you know what I mean? And as
I don't want to brand you as Dick Ryan.
Well, yeah. Let's not brand me as Dick Ryan, but it was one of those things where I was I was holding my assholeness was I was holding on to it with our relationship. That was the one area where I could be a little bit more edgy, where I don't get shit from my wife being oh, you're such an asshole. That was a dick thing to say, or that was so mean, or that's not cool. I don't like my husband to be like that. So I was and all my friends notice it. They'll clown on me now, and I'll be they'll be oh, you're getting a little fat. And I'm yeah, I ate a lot of food, a lot of fast food last week. You're right.
They're
that's my response now. And straight up, my friends are bro, you lost your edge. You're not the, And I like that I'm not, I like that side of me. It's it's like a
but
new
see, you know
version.
what? I bet you why your friends who would say stuff like that to you is because they're like, oh, it's Ryan. This is how we got to talk because that's how Ryan dishes to us. You know what I'm saying? So they come at you with like, oh, okay, because I got to come ready with my guns because I'm walking into Ryan's place because he's about to roast me. So they're just preemptively roasting you, and they're like, "Wait, what's happening, bro?
I give you a hug when you come in. I'm like, you hungry?
That's a much better Ryan, man.
Marriage has made me a better person. I think.
Look at that.
Definitely,
that's a great thing to say, man.
It's made me a complete submissive beezy. But
easy, okay. See, I see the growth there.
Yeah,
bro.
see,
I saw so hard in you that
I wanted to
change the word.
I wanted to say it, but
I love it. I love
it. It's for the better. I get it.
But okay, in all like jokes aside,
I thought you loved it. That's why I still did it. You know what I mean?
I think in context, it's not like don't joke around and don't razz your friends. It's like, okay, if you're your boys and it's in good fun, do it. But just not make that the thing where people know that Ryan is the guy that always is cracking jokes on everybody.
That's why the rebranding, and we're trying to change my image, which it has a lot because at my store, my customers hate it. Like they didn't really like me; they liked my employees because I always kept a buffer between them and me. Like, oh, don't talk to me unless you really need me to answer that question or me to solve that problem. And that was the wrong thing. Now that I'm more hands-on, like it's my business has done so much better because I'm nicer in that sense with customers where first when they would say something, I'm already ready like, oh, you're wrong. No, I'm like ready to fight back. But now I'm like listening. I'm like, oh, no, you're right. I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. Like a little loss, money, like low loss here. It's okay. Before my dad brainwashed me like, you can't even lose 10 cents. Like everything is money, and which is true like in business.
Sure.
But when I changed that and I was more kinder, it made me a business do better. And then it made me kinder in my life where I'm like we're driving past, I'm driving past someone and he has a flat. I'm like, you need help, on the freeway. And I'm like, man, I would have never have done that before.
Like, did I just?
Thank God he said no, but because I don't know where to go from there because my.
So you wouldn't have helped if he said I needed help?
Of course I would have, but my heart is still, bro. My heart is still not. I'm saying I would have helped.
I know you would. That's
but
what
my
I'm
heart
saying.
is still not 100%. Like I'm doing it because I'm like that's the right thing to do. Oh, I should help him because that's the right thing to do. But it's not where I'm like in my heart. I'm like, oh my God, he's stranded. Let me help him. Like I'm thinking like, oh, this will make me a better person. In
hey,
that
bro,
sense,
if serving people makes you think you're gonna be a better person and that's your reason to do it, I say still do it. Because it does do something to you.
Yeah.
It's just like working out, bro. You don't want to go work out, but you do it enough, you get healthy, you get strong. So you don't always necessarily have to. You know what I'm saying? So like, I think that's a good thing, man.
Well, do you like the new Ryan?
I'm liking the new Ryan, man.
You know how many times of like your stories, I'm like, no, don't say it.
Are my stories just like you're? It's like a target
kidding.
on my back.
Kidding. I'm totally kidding. It's a joke.
See, bro.
See, can I? Give me one.
It's okay.
Give me one.
It's okay. You could toss a few zingers my way, bro. I'm not made out of freaking marshmallow.
I'm kind of scared now.
No, man.
I don't want my BFF to hate me.
Don't be self-conscious, bro. Like I'm your bro, man.
I know.
It's okay, bro. Yeah. It's okay.
It was a good conversation. I'm glad we had it because, I'm sure, like my best friends, my crew, like the guys, and they love me so much, and they'll tell me when I fuck up, and they'll give me a hard, or when I mess up, they'll give me a hard time, or they won't really give me a hard time, but I think they let me get away with like me being that way. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that's not always a good thing too, right? Like
it's not.
Like I don't want them to be like, that's just. I don't want it to be, that's just Ryan. Like,
right.
That's just
that,
Ryan.
That's that enabler thing, right?
Yeah.
Like you know that there's something better that person could be doing or be acting, but you're just like, that's just him being him. So you're kind of enabling the person to do something that's like probably not the best thing, right?
Sure, and like, or maybe they're like looking at it from afar and they're laughing or whatever because I don't directly do it to them, but it's like, but I actually, you know what? My best friends, they roast me harder then because they're smarter than me too. They're all like lawyers and stuff, so they use like big words that I don't really understand. I'm like, all right, let me search this.
Let me bust out dictionary.
Hey, what? Yeah. So, but maybe I'm gonna apply this. Sorry, I didn't mean.
Yeah, man.
Apply this to them and be like, you know what? Not gonna be a troll. Not gonna be that guy. Like, even like I was trolling Soph the other day.
Yeah.
She wasn't like responding the way we normally do. I was like, she was like, that's not funny. I was like, oh, maybe I'm not funny anymore. Like,
nah, man. People are just getting like nicer. People are just
that's what it is. We're
getting nicer, man. We need more nice people, bro. It's crazy out there in these streets. People are acting crazy right now.
Yeah, but you know.
But you know, it's okay, man. In moderation.
Moderate. You're right.
You can moderate it.
It did teach me. You know, I'm gonna still roast you every now and then, but I just know when to do it. You know, not when you're doing an inspirational. When you're feeling it, like, you know what I mean, like that. I learned my lesson.
Hey, it's all good,
man.
I
love you, brother.
I love you too, man. I'm glad I feel like this is like a healing conversation right now, dude.
Yeah,
you know.
No, and it's good because we never got to talk about it. I want you to know is when we went into our thing, my natural response is to fight back. But when you came at me that way, I was like, oh, like you're like. A light bulb went in my head. And that's why I was like, dude, my bad. Like, that's not what I was trying to do. And like, yeah, it was like, you made me realize like, that was literally the last nail in the coffin of like, I want to be more, I'm thinking of being more funny in the first interaction than being empathetic or sympathetic or, you know what I mean? Like listening to what you're saying. Like when you're telling a story, I'll gauge it based on, can I make fun of him right now after, or can I not? Like, cause is it that serious? Like where I can joke about it, to make light of it. And I've done it. And now that I look back, I'm like, dang, I made light of so many serious situations where they're like, oh yeah, I appreciate you making it light, but maybe they're being nice too. Like you know what
I've learned in these current times, people have had a tough past few years. So sure, people want to laugh and make light of things and stuff like that, but I feel like people are carrying a lot of baggage too. So it's kind of, you know, good to be aware of that.
I think 2020 humbled a lot of people.
It did.
You know?
It did. Yeah.
Like, oh, you know, this is not the jam, or I'm not the, you know what I mean? So.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. No, I get it, man. I think this is a healing combo,
it is.
Man.
I'm gonna be, 10 years from now, I'm gonna be go get my PhD for psychology. No, I'm not. I'm just.
Nah, man, you don't need that, bro. All we need is conversations, dog.
Conversations.
Just talk it out over here, man. Hey, I love you, bro. Come on.
I love you too, man.
Give me a little fist bumpers, bro. This is a good one. This is a good one. Folks, as you tuned in, Ryan and I, we are hashing out our I don't want to say differences. We had a little spat, but you know, that's what happens, bro. You talk.
Which is what, one or few out of how many years we've been friends?
Yeah, we haven't had a lot. And,
it's because we were always mean to each other.
Yeah, and see all this pent up that we had, and we gotta freaking hash it out right here, you know. But hey, it's healing time, and it's a good conversation.
This is what we do here too, right? It's not always like fun and stories of fun stuff.
It is fun though. We're having fun. We're having fun. But guys, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah. If you're watching or listening, thank you.
Thank you.
If you are finding us for the first time, welcome. And we have at this point, we definitely got a few in the hole. We got some episodes back there. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any episodes. Make sure you follow us on all of our socials.
Don't forget to comment, so we can know what we're saying. If it's chill or you want us to talk about some other stuff, let us know,
Rate and review, 5 stars only.
Thumbs up and turn on those notifications too. Right?
What are our socials, bro? I'm always confused.
Our Instagram is conversations_pod. YouTube is conversations_pod. Twitter is _conversations.
That junk is confusing as hell.
But we'll have it right here. We're
gonna put that in the description or somewhere around here.
Somewhere right here.
And make sure you follow us. And that's it, y'all. We'll catch you on the next one.
Peace out.
Peace.